Alright, quick update on Kyber network. So thank God for stop losses. We are absolutely tumbling like no tomorrow right now. Let's talk about what's going on. So first of all, yes, last video I did mention I did get stopped out of my trade. We jumped in on this KNC trade when we were back testing the daily EMA ribbons just before the $3 region. And we had a nice increase up, approximately about 50% or so. Up until my stop loss, and this was my stop loss here, by the way. So we got stopped out in a 50% profit. I was personally looking for higher price targets, but we did mention, we said the trend is your friend until the end. This is riding to the upside, and we were dynamically increasing our stop losses. I remember originally I had my stop loss down here, so it would have only just been tagged, but once it started pushing back above the previous all-time high, I told you, in my opinion, as we've consolidated around the all-time high for so long, I don't think there'd be any reason for us to come back down there unless we were breaking bearish. And my gut feeling was right. We got stopped out in a profit, and as the start of the video, like I said, thank God for stop losses, because we are tumbling like a rock now. We saw this top coming from a million miles away. We simply looked at the oscillators, we looked at the RSI and the MFI, and we were talking about how ungodly overextended we were. We were so overextended. When we last talked about your money flow indicator and the RSI, the money flow indicator is still sticking in there, meaning that in terms of the percentage of retail money that jumped in since your most recent uptrend, there is still a lot of money that could be potentially flushed out of the money flow indicator. So it could get a lot uglier very soon if we're not careful. So if we look at the relative strength index, we topped out multiple times. We were even trying to uptrend. I mean, you can see for the longest period of time, you put in lows, and we had this higher low structure. You can see macro higher low, macro higher low, and then we were putting in higher lows, and we just completely landslide at this point in time. So where could the bottom be? Because the bottom is shifting beneath us. If we look at your momentum indicators, we are completely landsliding. Historically, at least in the past couple of corrections, when we do tip over into the bearish side of the money flow indicator, we normally do something like this and have a tiny bearish dip before reaccumulating momentum to the upside. So I am potentially looking at ways that I could hop back into KNC at some point in time when I feel like there is a macro market bottom in place. However, looking at this in the higher time frames, just take a moment to realize it was only a couple of months ago that we were down here, and we literally have just done a 3.5x rally, and only in the past week and a half we've really been correcting. So I do not really think now is the right time to DCA. It's obviously up to you what you do. I'm not here to provide you financial advice. I'm just here to look at the charts, say what I see, say what I plan on doing in the market. And at this moment in time, at least, I don't think there is a very simple region I could give you, like, for example, we come down to the daily EMA ribbons, and then that's where I'd look to enter the market. I think I'd definitely be sitting on the sidelines for some time, and I really want to see higher time frames like the weekly. I want to see the money flow indicator in the RSI come down a decent chunk more, because this looks like a very nice blow off top to me. Maybe not the biggest blow off top, but we clearly had a face tear over the past couple of months. Lots of volume is now coming in, pushing us down. The trend has clearly shifted, and we're still oversold. I mean, collectively, if you sum up the MFI and the RSI, we'd probably be sitting on average around about this extremely oversold region. The money flow indicator is still, or extremely overbought rather. The money flow indicator is still extremely overbought, and so is the RSI. I mean, in my opinion, we could have some way to go to the downside. Now, if we are going to remain macro bullish, what would we need to see? Because we are coming down right now, but the uptrend from a Fibonacci perspective is still technically intact. You are very bullish as long as you hold your 618 Fibonacci, and from a technical perspective as well, the trend is still valid until you lose your 786 rather. However, I think it'd be a little bit nasty to come back down to your 786, and let me show you why. We're on the weekly time frame. This might not look like the most amount of data traded, but from when we topped out, this is not including the top, this is literally just the accumulation range that we had here. So if we size up the top here, you can see this was a huge accumulation range. All in this blue box here, you can see 44 bars, which is 308 days, almost a year's worth of accumulation to the side. Now we've broken up, we've made a new all-time high, that's all good. If we come down, you know, I mean, in theory this would be the box that I'd be looking to hold. I think what is it, I think KNC, Kyber network, could get a lot uglier if we do not hold this double 618 Fibonacci that we've got going on KNC right now. So like I said, there's not going to be a super simple, we come down to this level, we hold it, we moon. I think we need some time. Looking at your oscillators, we are still completely oversold. I think, you know, if I was to say, if we come down another 17%, that might be a good buy. I think I'd be doing people a disservice, because if we come down another 17%, you know, you're still going to be extremely oversold on the money flow indicator, and the RSI is still going to be sitting at that kind of neutral phase in the higher time frames. Like I said, I really don't think now is the right time to be looking to jump into KNC. I think KNC's got a decent market cap. It's going to move slower than a lot of these other cryptos. This was purely retail driven, in my opinion, due to how high the money flow indicator was. I mean, it just kept crashing against the top of this. I don't think there's any, you know, smart money, whale type. Well, obviously there's going to be whales. What I mean is, I don't think there's going to be any smart money, and by smart money, I don't mean that people trade this as stupid because I traded this. I simply mean smart money as in institutions, big whales, big people behind big companies that can really make these markets move. Those people were, you know, dipping their feet into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few others. They don't care about KNC. This is purely retail driven, in my opinion. On the weekly time frame, you can see the squeeze momentum indicator has only started resetting itself. You can see we've only just finished this big impulse, and for the first week, but take that into mind, for the first week we've put in a slightly diminished candle, meaning that the trend is going to start to subside and come down into a bearish wave. Now, this is why I'm saying I don't think it's as simple as me just saying we come down to 786, we buy, we come down to daily EMAs or weekly EMAs, we buy. I think we need to sit on the sidelines for a prolonged period of time, let the market settle, decide where we want to move. On the daily, the squeeze mom is only just about to move to the downside. So whether we have a baby downtrend like we did previously, which I'm of the opinion that I don't think we are going to do, the majority of the downtrends seem to be at least somewhat more sizable than the two downtrends that we had most recently. So, you know, going off these averages, I would have to say KNC has more room to go to the downside. So I'll be keeping my eye on a few different areas. Number one, the weekly EMA ribbons. Where have they gone? Oh, okay, they're on this time frame, my bad. So yeah, basically, I mean, everything lines up really neatly. You've got your 618 fib from this low to the high. You've got your 618, you've got your 618 fib from this high to low right here. 618 fib from this low to high right here. And also the weekly EMAs are coming down into there. So, I mean, if the bulls do want to snatch back this trend, we would have a chance if we did something like this. I think maybe if we come down to here after the Fed meeting's done on the 4th, we could rally out of here. But yeah, like I said, I mean, even in your best case scenario, I would assume another 20% drop is on the table for KNC. Until that happens, at least I'd be sitting on the sidelines. 100% I'd be sitting on the sidelines. So that's all I've got for KNC. I'm expecting around about the $3 mark. So yeah, let's just call it $3, approximately between the ranges of $3.13 and $2.94. So like I said, we'll just call it $3. I think we're coming down to $3. Until that happens, I mean, even after that happens, I would be sitting on the sidelines. But let's wait till we come down to these lower price targets. Let's reanalyze the market. We'll check out our oscillators, see if they're still extremely overbought. We'll see what our momentum indicators are saying. Are we flipping bearish on the daily EMAs? We're already flipping bearish on the 4 hourlies. So I do think there is more room to the downside, 100%. You know, I mean, even if we got super bearish, you could see the 786 fib down here at 230 could be support. 786, or sorry, this was the 200 day at 230. Then you've got your 786 fib right here at 217. There's a plethora of places that can bounce. They're all miles and miles below us. So let's take it one day at a time. I'm expecting more of a drop to come for KNC. And before we do wrap up the video, congratulations to everyone who did get in on this trade with me. When we were down here retesting these daily EMAs, we walked away with a nice profit even if we did get stopped out. That is all I've got for you today. Cowboy out, not financial advice. And as always, peace.